Good afternoon. This is a very special edition of Latte Hour coming to you a little bit later than usual. So, if you haven't heard by now, OPM did send out an email to all federal employees earlier today on February 22nd. And before we get to what the email said, let's go a little further back and see how it all started. So there's a supposed tweet from Donald Trump's Twitter account that says Elon is doing a great job, but I would like to see him get more aggressive. Remember, we have a country to save, but ultimately to make greater than ever before, MAGA. And that message was in all capital letters. So I guess first it would be prudent for Americans to verify that Donald Trump did indeed send out that tweet, especially because the owner, or I guess the person running Twitter, could theoretically easily have access to the president's Twitter account and could theoretically spoof anything that he wanted or tweet out from that account anything that he wanted. But nonetheless, moving on, then Elon retweets, but with a quote saying, "Will do, Mr. President." And so the evening of February 22nd, Saturday, an email from OPM goes out to all federal employees. And shortly within that same time frame, Elon tweets consistent with President and then tags Donald Trump's Twitter instructions. All federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. And so basically it seems that Elon is using Twitter as a main channel of communication. However, the email does not threaten that no reply it means resignation. And so this is a little bit a conflict of interest, seeming to try to make Twitter the official channel for communication for federal employees, especially because a lot of federal employees may not have Twitter. So yeah, a huge conflict of interest that I feel would bring more people to create accounts just to keep up with the news coming out of this new administration. So that's a huge red flag. And so let's move on to what the actual email from hr@opm.gov states. It states, please reply to this email with approximately 5 bullets of what you accomplished last week and CC your manager. Please do not send any classified information, links, or attachments. Deadline is this Monday at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. And so, as you can see, this email could be a bit problematic, as some people may be on leave, or whatever other reason they may not be in the office, on travel, etc. So this could be a bit problematic. Also, many agencies already require some of their workers to record what they do weekly or daily. So there is an accountability system. Another concern is that they're building out kind of trying to figure out who works for who, since you'll be CCing your supervisor. So that's another concern, because it kind of takes the power out of the local supervisor's hands and the local HR team. So just all around wrong way to go about this, especially since there are accountability procedures within every agency and yearly reviews. So moving on to some of the responses that we've seen lately here. First, I want to start with the response from Kash Patel, who is now the new FBI director, and maybe the acting ATF director. I'm not seeing that happen before, but this should be interesting. So the email that was sent out to FBI personnel reads, FBI personnel may have received an email from OPM requesting information. The FBI, through the Office of the Director, is in charge of all of our review processes and will conduct reviews in accordance with FBI procedures. When and if further information is required, we will coordinate the responses. For now, pause any responses. So I'm not sure if that was coming out from directly Kash Patel, but it does signal a kind of resistance towards this kind of king-like behavior that Elon Musk seems to be displaying here. So definitely a good approach. I like to see that the federal workforce has a backbone, or especially the guys with the weapons. Elon might have the keyboard, but they have the weapons, and that should never be mistaken or misconstrued. So I like to see that. It is up in the air what other agencies are going to say. Of course, Twitter had a bunch of people responding on what they thought. There were a lot of people in the private industry that say, oh, we do this all the time, and you know, this shouldn't be hard for them to do. And that's a great response. But again, the government also does have processes very similar to private industry in some of their offices, or if they're not implementing it, they're starting to implement it. So that's great. Now, one person was saying that their company required them to do like a ridiculous amount of auditing on what everyone was doing with their time. At that point, I think that the people have to stand up for their rights as workers, because that just sounds crazy. But for the most part, there are accountability processes in the government, just as there are in private industry. So I'm not sure where this narrative is coming from. But yeah, that's great. I don't think that people who don't respond aren't doing any work, because I don't think that's the principle of the matter. The principle of the matter is there is an immigrant that's threatening to take American jobs. That is the principle of the matter. I thought that's what the right was concerned about when they were deporting all of these illegals. And is Elon even here legally? There's a lot of shadowy activity in that history that has been reported. So can we check that, please? So there's just a lot of confusion and ridiculousness here. And so that is all for today's Latte Hour. Please leave your comments and responses below, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye now.